Senator Butler.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you to you and a ranking member for today's hearing. To the families who are here today, thank you for continuing to keep the legacy of your family strong and present, raising their voices at a time when there's so much attention being paid. You've not relented one bit. Even when you thought no one was listening. Thank you for staying on the case and for being here. Mr. Calhoun and Mr. McKenzie, thank you for your presence. I want to turn to the report to the FAA, Mr. Calhoun, the plan of action moving forward. There's not been a great deal of detail of that plan shared, but in your comments and testimony to the committee today, you highlight you say, and I quote, "It's our people who are our greatest strengths." I think any executive, CEO, person who's run a business, a small organization knows that it fundamentally is the people who make the company strong. My colleague, Senator Hawley, was talking about how well you compensate. The chairman raised issues, concerns about are the people of your company seeing any accountability for behaviors that have led to us being in this place. You said yourself that the people who you tasked with responding to the information requests from this committee are sitting in this room, but I think you would agree that they have failed in representing the greatness of this American company. So I want to understand what is the plan relative to the people moving forward. There's a lot of words about training. There's a lot of words about, I tried to capture it as precisely as I could, better work instruction adherence. It implies that the workers are not adhering to the instruction and or training that you are currently providing. So I want to dig a little bit into understanding the specifics of the plan that you've offered to the FAA, to the American people, and to these families who are here about how it is that you are going to advance this plan relative to the important people that keep this company strong. Let me ask just a very specific question. What are the costs associated with the people part of your plan?
Depends on what aspect of it, but if it's in the training arena, it's well over $1 billion. Senator, a large part of the training needs relate to Senator Johnson's question with respect to turnover and the number of newer people that we have. In our stand-downs with all of our people, and I always believed, and I'm sure and certain that the best ideas will come from them. They gave us lots of great ideas on how they would train all the new people, how they would do most of that training on the job as opposed to the classroom. We dedicated many, many, many more hours to that training. We created...
I read it. It's about 300 additional hours that were dedicated to the...
We created a proficiency metric, not as a pay item, but simply recognition that from the senior folks, the junior folks are now proficient at the task and the job that they have. They know where the drawings are, they know the steps required to follow each of those drawings, and they don't need to have somebody next to them while they do it. So of all the issues that we heard for all of those people and 30,000 ideas, most focused on training.
So it's $1 billion about.
Yes,
won't hold you
something
to
north of $1 billion.
North of $1 billion dedicated to the implementation of the plan moving forward relative to people. Are those costs, are those dollars actually going to be dollars dedicated going into the pockets of Boeing workers around the world?
It will pay for all of the time and training that they get. It's not a compensation. This is an investment the company will make to take people off of an airplane job and make sure that we train them to be ready to do the airplane job.
So they're not going to be compensated for the additional training that
Well, they get paid for every hour they're there, yes.
But now you have a more highly skilled worker.
Yes.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
And there is not additional,
No,
in this plan,
they
there's
can
not
proceed within the, like in the Puget Sound, along the Union. The more skills they accumulate, the better they'll get paid.
So,
Answer to that is yes.
So, and that's within the $1 billion.
No, that's a, no.
So that's what I'm trying to understand.
That would be straight compensation.
Right. So I really want to understand.
I don't have the aggregate number for that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to provide that, at least with respect to the plan.
I would really like to understand, because I think if what you have said is, and the plan that you have moving forward is that that we need a more highly skilled workforce. I would assume that would mean a better compensated workforce that is now more highly skilled. And so I want to make sure that I understand that in particular. We're running out of time quickly. I want to pick up on a conversation that a couple of my colleagues have started out in this notion of culture. And culture is incredibly important for it to last. It's really got to be something that is sticky. The chair asked about the number of workers that have been, or employees, managers, leaders that have been faced discipline for retaliation. What I would like to understand, and would love to get just a quick response from you about, is how do you plan to increase confidence in these new policies and the culture that you want your people, your greatest asset, to believe in, if there's no visible consequences for the behavior that is allegedly disallowed?
Again, with respect to how to motivate our teams, the most important thing.
I'm sure you believe that they're motivated because they're producing product. Yeah. So it's not that, I'm not suggesting that they're not motivated. What I want, and I think what you want, is to have them to believe,
trust the
that
system.
and to trust that your leadership is going to keep the traveling public safe and is going to help them build a solid future for their family. Yes. Why should they trust you?
Well, first, we do celebrate people who give us information that helps our operation. And even if it doesn't, we celebrate their willingness to speak up. And we do it publicly. And we survey the results. Do you trust the system? And we get better and better and better feedback on that. And we have ways to go, and we have to keep working on that one. And yes, maybe there's a better way to communicate the disciplinary actions that we take. I am sensitive to the people who we take those disciplinary actions against. I think it's highly likely that in the immediate workspace, around wherever or whatever happened in those instances, there's a high level of awareness. Yeah, thank you.